Our Region's Business is sponsored by PNC for the achiever in you. Our Region's Business. Innovation, transformation, momentum. Improving our communities and driving technologies that will shape our region for generations. The collaboration that brings vitality, prosperity, and life to living. Stay with us for the coming half hour as we examine in depth our region's business. Now, here's your host, Bill Flanagan.
Today on Our Region's Business, we're focusing on our region's high quality of life and how to make it even better. We'll find out how a PR battle has overshadowed the fight against breast cancer at the Komen Foundation and what the local chapter is doing about it. Plus, we'll follow the Andy Warhol Museum around the world and to factories right here in our region for an innovative effort to combine industry and art. But first, an ambitious new effort to help us all breathe easier. It's called the Breathe Project, and it's urging all of us not to be complacent about the gains we've made in cleaning up our air. First, a bit of historical perspective.
Hello, I'm Joseph C. Harsh. Today I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Here it is.
Barely 10 years ago, Pittsburgh was known by its inhabitants as the smoke center of the earth, the smoky city. No city anywhere in the world had more smoke than Pittsburgh had.
Now, I have near me here in this room a man who played a major role in this whole operation, Mr. David Lawrence, the mayor of Pittsburgh. Sir, will you tell us how it all started?
People were aroused that the community was slipping, that the town was going back. Some felt that Pittsburgh was really dying.
Really dying, choking to death?
Yeah, really choking to death.
All right, then specifically, when you reached this point of feeling that it was dying, what did you do?
Well, we organized a committee to help get rid of smoke.
What was the committee this time?
Well, the committee was is known as the Allegheny Conference on Community Improvement.
Well, now here we are about 60 years later with a new committee that's setting out to finish the job that our region began in the 1940s. Bob Evod is president of the Heinz Endowments, organizer of the Breathe Project. And welcome, good to have you here.
Thank you, glad to be here.
How about it, fill in the shoes of Davy Lawrence?
Well, I think Davy Lawrence probably had us beat. We're Davy Lawrence wannabes. We're following that model for sure.
It's got to be a little more challenging. We saw that video from 60 years ago. You can just look out your window and you watch the ash fall 24/7. Today the skies seem to be clear. What we're talking about are invisible particles that carry this health risk with them. Is it a challenge to get people motivated and understand the work that still needs to be done?
Absolutely. I mean, you put your finger on if I look out and I see the blue sky, why should I mean, what do you mean? What are you telling me that the air is not good? But if you look at health statistics, if you look at what comes out of the monitors, in fact, we still do have a challenge. But I think we can't take anything away from that announcement that was made last week. And I think the fact that that 3-year average on PM 2.5 Met standard, I don't think anybody should put a but around that. Took a lot of people working long and hard to make that happen. And everybody should, as you say, breathe easier because of that.
And that's largely the result of the big investment U.S. Steel has made down at its Claret and Coke Works, right, to really get us over the hump in terms of meeting standards?
To the extent that the Claret monitor has been the issue, I think that's a major contributor. And so, Bill, I'd say to you that wouldn't want to take a thing off of that. I would also, and this is not a but, what I do see and what we do see is that I've only been in Pittsburgh working on my 5th year, so I'm a newbie. But one of the things that I've learned about people in Pittsburgh is that just enough isn't the standard that they keep. Just good enough isn't good enough for the Steelers, the Penguins, or public education or anything else here. And I think air quality is no different. And so, yeah, there are some things we need to do. Inside that 3-year period, if you take 2010, there were north of 90 days when individual monitors in either SOx or ozone or PM 2.5 was out of compliance. So there 25% of the days when, particularly for people with respiratory difficulties, it was difficult. So yes, we do have more to do, and we're going to do it. I think it goes without saying. And the thing about that is that meeting, Pittsburghers wanting to be not just off the worst list, but on the best list, I think it's not only good for individual health, for you and me and for young children, and particularly for older citizens around here, but as you know, and I've heard from you, but we've also learned from others, it's good for the economy. If we've talked to the folks at Google or the Pittsburgh Technology Council who are trying to invite and entice young people to come, the kinds of people that are going to grow the eds and meds and the tech in this area, air quality is absolutely vital. So yes, we have more to do. We should feel good about what's happened and look forward to the next step.
Well, you've got a lot of players. It seems you're gathering a lot of the right people in the region, a lot of the right organizations to participate in the Breathe Project, U.S. Steel among them. Some of the others that are really coming to the table to deal with the... Well,
the irony is that people use the word strange bedfellows, and when they look at the Breathe Project Coalition, you've got it, because you have what you'll call the usual suspects. You have the NGOs that are involved in the environment, the Clean Air Task Force and the GASP and the Penn Future. But sitting at that same table, you have, as you say, you have U.S. Steel, you have PNC, you have EQT, you've got Duquesne Light, you've got Consol, you've got McConway and Torley, people, all these companies doing things, actively doing things to continue to improve the air quality.
And it helps a lot for people to know what's being done, what they can do. Is that going to be part of the educational effort going forward?
It is. Going forward, we have put together a leadership group which will be the face of the Breathe Project. They will set some standards, some targets, and they will also be cheerleaders for the kinds of things that run the gamut from, and I'll use those same groups. GASP is establishing an Athletes United for Healthy Air. Bike Pittsburgh, beginning May 18th, is going to have Car-Free Friday. On the other hand, you have EQT, which is looking at natural gas-fired drilling rigs and working with us to look at natural gas-fired buses. You've got Duquesne Light looking at energy usage in houses. You've got PNC investing a huge amount of money in a brand new green building. And you've got what's going on with U.S. Steel continues to go on at Clairton. I must confess that one of my favorites, however, is there's a young woman named Rachel Mackery who lives in Squirrel Hill, and she's called us to say, what can I do? I'm having my sweet 16 birthday party here in a month or so, and I want to use it as an occasion to raise awareness and raise money for the Breathe Project. And so we're working with the Pittsburgh Foundation to see if we can set up a youth fund where young people can do it. So across the board, individuals, corporations, organizations, and young people are doing something about it.
All right. Well, good to see so many people coming together to try to figure out a way to take it the final mile.
We're encouraged.
All right. Bobby Vagt from the Heinz Endowments. Thanks so much. And next up, a challenge another of our region's foundations is trying to overcome, navigating a PR crisis to maintain a life-saving program of research and service. Stay with us.